Well, global markets kick-started their fresh week of trade yesterday, and we'll take stock of how markets performed yesterday as well as what were the key movers. When we look at US markets, they were absolutely flat at close of trade. Of course, the week will see a whole host of earnings by US companies. Consumer demand continues to be in focus given inflation. Of course, growth is also the other metric which is going to be in focus going forward. And of course, treasury yields, they are headed higher, and as they go higher, markets will increasingly continue to come under pressure. The Dow closed around 0.1% lower. The S&P 500 was in fact absolutely flat, just 2 bips down, and the Nasdaq was down around 0.14% or thereabouts yesterday. When we look at Europe, they too closed, or rather they closed higher yesterday, largely on the back of the ECB keeping policy rates unchanged and confirming that their bond buying program has ended. So of course now the balance sheet will be stable for the ECB, and maybe going forward they'll start shrinking that as well. When we look at the DAX, it was up around 0.6%. The FTSE was up around 0.5% or so. The CAC 40 was up around 0.75%. So a good positive start to the week for European markets. When we look at Asia, they were broadly mixed in trade yesterday, and that remains the story in early trade today as well. In fact, all Asian markets were in the green in early trade. They've shifted and gone mixed, especially in China. When we look at the Hang Seng, it's down almost 3% in early trade today. The Shanghai is just clinging on to around a 5 bips of a loss. So pretty much flat, the Shanghai. When we look at the Nikkei, it's up around 0.25% or so. The ASX 200 is up around 0.75%, and the Kospi is up nearly 1% in early trade today. When we look at the SGX Nifty, it's up around 13 basis points as we speak, 22 points in the green, just below that 17,250 mark in early trade today. So definitely positive signs coming in for Indian markets at the moment. When we look at how commodities have done, Libya shortages in supply continue to pressure oil. So oil prices continue to head higher. We did speak yesterday about how oil is headed higher on the back of a possible European embargo on Russian oil, and that continues, or that story also continues to play out. Oil is now at $108 a barrel as we speak. Gold prices cooled off though. Gold is at just at $1,980 an ounce, down just a little lesser than 1%. When we look at currency, well, the dollar strength continues. In fact, the dollar index is now closing in on that 101 mark. It's at 100.85 in early trade today. The US 10-year treasury yields also aiding the dollar. The 10-year treasury yield is now at 2.85%. So that continues to gain up. And when we look at cryptos, they're largely mixed, with Bitcoin breaching that 40,000 mark, but in a more tempered way, around the 40,500 US dollar mark as we speak in early trade. Good positive cues, especially for Indian markets. We are expecting to see a bit of green in early trade today at least.